W-H-I-T-N-E-Y. Who's that girl? It's Whitney Reynolds. Oh, she's got a show. Catch it on the weekends. Every single Saturday, right at noon on Chicago's NBC 5.2.
Welcome to Weekends with Whitney. I'm your host, Whitney Reynolds. It is almost the new year, and it is time to get those goal sheets out, guys. I'm joined by Dr. Julius Few. Welcome.
Thank you for
How are
having me.
you doing?
I'm doing great.
What are some things that you would recommend people maybe look into as the new year approaches?
Well, my big belief is often simple is better. And I think a lot of people try to maybe bite off more than they really can chew when it comes to looking and feeling their best. So at the Few Institute, we're really all about healthy lifestyle, healthy living. And it can be as basic as just helping to protect your skin. A lot of people lose kind of sight of the idea that when it's cold out and it's dreary, you're thinking more about just staying warm. And in reality, you have to think about keeping your skin actually well hydrated and healthy.
You are so right. You have something here called Lumixil. Is that what it's called?
Yes, Lumixil is one example of a very simple at-home product that works well to both rejuvenate the skin, moisturize, but actually then kind of even out complexion as well, kind of repairing the damage of the summer. Well,
and one thing that I never thought about is SPF year-round. Do you recommend that for people?
Absolutely.
So, because in the winter, I know I'm a victim of this, guys. I act like, oh, the sun's not out, so no SPF needed. But you do need it all the time.
All the time. All the time.
Does it have something in it that helps you stay looking young or helps your skin, or is it just protecting from the UV rays?
I think the most important thing you can do is protect from the UV rays, especially even on a cloudy day. You have to worry about ultraviolet radiation. And then the other part is really looking at little simple things that you can do to avoid over drying your skin. So again, there's a tendency, especially with all the holidays coming up and after the holidays, there may be makeup issues of wanting to, get ready for that special event, and often that's a time where you will take away vital oil on your skin. And the analogy I like to use is really our skin is like a piece of paper. The more you fold it, the deeper the crease, and the harder it is to kind of iron that away. And so if you use something like Botox, you're actually stopping the folding of paper, so you're not wrinkling your face as much. And so then you don't get creases that are real deep, and it actually slows the aging process.
Well, and like you said, one of your first comments you said today is less is more. So you're not saying look fake, no expression. You still want all your clients to have all the normal movement. It's just preventative with the increasing lines setting in.
Absolutely, and that's, you said, again, another key point. If you do little incremental moves, if you will, so using Botox, doing good skincare, preventing the damage of the sun, diet and exercise. A lot of people lose track of the idea that if you're exercising a bit in the gym, you're enhancing your circulation, you're going to see benefit there. You're going to see it in your face, you're going to see it in your body. So everything really flows, I think, together.
Absolutely. And speaking of diet and exercise, coming up in the next segment, we're going to talk a little bit about VelaShape. And it is actually something that works where diet and exercise maybe can't take away all the cellulite, the look of it. Tell us a little bit of a brief overview of VelaShape.
So VelaShape is a technology that works by radio frequency and infrared light. And it's a temporary tool that is FDA approved for non-surgical cellulite treatment and also to reduce the size of a thigh.
Well, now that we got everyone's attention at home, we're going to break down VelaShape right after the break. I think losing weight, getting in shape is one thing that everyone really starts thinking about, but I'm glad that we talked about easy tips. If you had to say 3 really simple tips that people can do at home before we go to the commercial break, what would they be? Just moisturize,
prevent the sun exposure, the sun exposure, and treating issues, especially cosmetic issues, early.
I love that. Okay, we're going to be back with Dr. Few right after this break. We'll be right back.
This portion of Weekends with Whitney is brought to you by John LeMay and Associates. This is the year to be on top of those changing tax laws. Call John LeMay and Associates. He can help you as he's helped many of our viewers dig out deductions, minimize risk, and maximize refunds. Chicago trusts John LeMay and Associates in Lincoln Park to help individuals and businesses survive and thrive. Check out their strong ratings on Yelp. Call John LeMay and Associates for a positive accounting experience.
Hello, welcome back to Weekends with Whitney. I'm your host, Whitney Reynolds, and we are here at the Few Institute at the Hancock Center, and I'm joined by Dr. Julius Few. Welcome back. You know, we talked in the first segment about things that people can do at home, like moisturizing, SPF, but at the end of the segment, we talked a little bit about something that can help reduce the signs of cellulite, and I'm sure everyone at home is going nuts right now, and they want to know more about it. I work out every day, and I still feel like I see some cellulite that even exercise can't hide. Would you agree?
It is much more common than I think a lot of women think in terms of the reality with cellulite, that roughly 3/4 of women are dealing with some form of cellulite, even at an early age.
Ooh.
And it gets worse as they get older, and especially not working out. Not everybody is as disciplined as you are, so working out, diet, and exercise helps to slow down the appearance of
Right.
cellulite. But even with all of that, you still can see it.
Well, I was going to say that's what's interesting is I do work out every day, and there are still some areas that I would love, you know, to maybe disappear a little bit. Is that something that VelaShape does? Does it reduce, like, what exactly is VelaShape?
So VelaShape is an FDA-approved, non-surgical technology that helps to temporarily control the appearance of cellulite. So
Wow.
the beauty is, especially for a busy woman who's going to work every day, this is a technology that, in a painless kind of way, can help to diminish or even eliminate the appearance of cellulite.
And when we're talking about the appearance of cellulite, it is like the cottage cheese type look that is in different areas. Is that exactly
Correct.
Okay.
That's exactly what it is. What it represents, actually, in all of us, we normally have at least 3 major layers of fat. So think of it as layers of insulation. And the very top layer, the layer that's closest to the skin, actually can kind of be clumpy or lumpy. And that's
Okay.
the reason why it can look like that cottage cheese look that you described.
Wow. And so whenever we're talking about non-surgical, so is there any downtime with VelaShape?
There's absolutely no downtime. So it really, a lot of patients will describe it as almost like having a hot or warm stone on their skin. It's almost, you could confuse it with even
like
a
a
massage.
massage.
It could feel
Sign
that
me
way.
up.
The biggest thing that we hear as a, if you will, a side effect is right after the treatment, a number of women will feel that they have to go to the bathroom because it does mobilize water that's in that tissue.
Oh, interesting. And so how long does it take to get the procedure done, or does it depend on where you're getting it done?
It really depends, but let's just say for a typical pair of thighs, it's roughly a half-hour treatment, 45-minute treatment in the
Wow.
office. You can do it every week.
Every week?
You can literally do it every week, and you get progressively more benefit. And typically, it's recommended to have at least 6 treatments to get your full effect.
Your full effect. Does this include saddlebags?
Now,
Does it help remove saddlebags? That's my question.
It actually is also, it's approved as a technology to reduce the size of a saddlebag. Now, again, I want to be realistic in terms of what people can expect with it. I mean, if somebody has a really, really big area of fat on their
Right.
thigh, it's not going to magically make it go away.
It's just going to, and when we say reduce, it's the way I envision it in my head, and tell me if I'm wrong, because we're going to actually see it and happen in the next segment, is like the clumpiness is going to help it go down a little bit.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Because that's what I was going to say, because I mean, going back to the working out, I see even thin people that we still have there's still problem areas.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So other places people are getting it besides the thighs, arms?
Arms,
Okay.
yes. So you can see a form, especially, now this is one example of where, as the skin gets older, you can start to see some of the irregular fat under the skin. So a woman who
interesting.
has, even with, again, good exercise, a good exercise routine, you can actually start to see some of the, almost that cottage cheese-like look in the inner kind of upper arm.
Wow.
And so that's another very common area that we get requests to help make better.
Do you have men come in and get this done as well?
We have men who will, it's interesting, we do have men, especially as they're trying to get ready for kind of bathing suit weather, springtime.
I'm ready to start thinking about bathing suit weather. I mean, the winter is here.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But I mean, these are easy. The beauty is with the VelaShape platform, it's easy. I mean, it's an easy procedure to go through. It's not painful. It's easy to kind of keep up the treatment.
How many times can you get it done a week?
So typically we will do it once a week, although we've had patients come in from out of town who are maybe on a much tighter kind of timeline, and so we'll do it even twice. So we'll do it on a Monday and then again on a Friday in the same week, just to try to get the peak benefit.
Wow, I love that. And as you guys can see today, I am wearing a black dress. And Terry John, a designer, has teamed up with VelaShape to give women the gift of confidence. I think confidence is something that could be gifted under any Christmas tree or any holiday gift this year, because that is something that we all need as we live life. And I am so thankful for Terry John and this wonderful dress. I feel like I have the gift of confidence, and we are going to get to see how VelaShape works right after this break. We'll be right back.
This portion of Weekends with Whitney is brought to you by Discovery Clothing, a national leading women's retailer with 30 locations across the country, offering chic contemporary styles and the latest trends at discounted prices, perfect for the new year.
Hello and welcome back to Weekends with Whitney. I'm your host, Whitney Reynolds, and we are joined by Dr. Julius Few at the Few Institute. And we've been talking about ways to goal set for your body for 2013, but we mentioned VelaShape, which is a way to reduce the signs of cellulite, and now we're going to walk through this little procedure. How you doing down there?
Great.
We have a wonderful model that has graciously participated, and let's get started, Dr. Few.
We will get started. So really, as I had mentioned earlier, the procedure is quite simple. We measure the temperature on the skin to begin with, and really the key with this technology is warming up the skin, but in a controlled way. And basically we have a material on that helps to allow the device to conduct, and what we do is we move up and down. And so what the device is doing is it's actually massaging and suctioning the skin up, so it allows for heating of the tissue under the skin. And how are you doing there?
Good, she says good. She has a smile.
So it suctions up a segment of skin, and so what we want to do is we apply this for about 10 minutes along each back thigh, and then if, in her case, she doesn't really need it, but if she wanted some along the inner or the lower thigh, then we can actually move up as well to the, or I should say in, towards the inner thigh.
Wow, and so I can hear, and I don't know if you guys at home can hear it, but you can hear the suctioning kind of going on of the skin, but she is in no pain, right?
Not at all.
And this is something that she could leave the office today and go back and do other things.
Absolutely.
And like you said, she might have to go to the bathroom because sometimes it makes, I think you said that was the one side effect.
That is a
having
side
to go to the
effect.
restroom.
Exactly.
But even that is like no downtime, and I can't think of anybody at home that wouldn't want to reduce some cellulite and be able to still have a fun day at it.
Absolutely.
So how long, if this was not a typical TV segment, would this take to do one thigh? And is this the main area that you would normally do?
So this is definitely, I would say, the back of the thigh and the inner thigh are the most commonly complained about cellulite areas, but often, as you mentioned earlier, up high on the outer thigh, you can get kind of that change as well. And so this is great, and then we can measure her temperature, and so it's already gone up a few degrees, but she's very comfortable.
Is that the goal of it, is to get it up a
The
little
goal
bit?
is to heat the tissue up, and what you get when you heat the tissue up is you get some remodeling of the fatty tissue and collagen there.
Wow, that is
that's the trick.
absolutely amazing. And so let's see this gun. This is actually VelaShape.
Correct.
And this is something, because it looks like maybe a contraption that some of us, it looks like it could be like a vacuum hose. It's not, folks. It's nothing you can do at home.
You can't use it to clean your house. No,
you can't. It's not multifunctional.
It just cleans unwanted cobblestone, cottage cheesy stuff. So
Wow.
I think you said earlier you don't like cottage cheese. So this is,
I don't like cottage cheese
this gets rid of it.
Inside my thighs or on a plate.
Or on a plate. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's not my
this gets rid
favorite.
of it both ways.
Wow, and so as it's heating it up, is there a max temperature that this can go to?
Well, we don't want to go any higher than about 45 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
Otherwise, you do run the risk of getting burns to the tissue, the skin. But you need to get to at least close to that temperature, usually between 41 and 45 degrees Celsius, so that you can get your effect. So this little device, this yellow device that I have, what it's doing is allowing me to measure the temperature of the skin as we're going along. So I've got it in my other hand.
And you can see the skin literally contracting under there, like the.
Exactly.
So that's kind of how it's working.
It's actually sucking the skin up into the little applicator, and then it's firing infrared light and radio frequency energy.
And that sounds painful, but obviously, as we mentioned earlier today, it is not. And so in one setting, like this is, and like as we mentioned, it's not, it can be for any body shape. Anybody that has problems with cellulite, even whether it's big problems or small problems, if you want to just reduce the signs of it, you can.
Absolutely. I think, you know, the big thing that we really try to emphasize at the Few Institute is the idea that it's a combined effort. We like our patients to do what this young lady's doing, which is she works out, she watches what she eats, she drinks plenty of water.
Oh, wow. Okay, perfect. And then let's go ahead and move on to the next thigh, because I would love for the people at home to see it from start to finish. Now, would this normally keep on going a little bit longer on one thigh?
About 2 more minutes. And
then let's finish this thigh.
But you know what, we'll go to the other side, because then
and what
you
is
can
this
see.
cream?
So this is actually a solution that allows for conduction, so that the skin, if it's real dry, you won't get a good seal with the applicator. So we're just putting the solution on. It also helps to prevent any burning. What we want to do on the side that I've already treated, I'm going to cover that, because we want to lock in that heat that we've applied. So we want that to stay there. That's why it's really important.
And it doesn't really feel that warm from the towel, but inside
it gets warmer, because the skin actually has the ability to wick off heat. So the outer surface of the skin is cooler than the inner surface.
Wow. Now, how long have you been doing VelaShape here?
We've been using it actually for the last several months. This is a newer form of the Vela system. This is actually called VelaShape 2. So it actually has more energy. It's more powerful than the traditional VelaShape. Wow.
And then, like you said, I think the biggest part is there's no major surgery involved with this.
The beauty is no surgery.
Right. There's nothing,
although I'm
downtime.
a surgeon, I love surgery, but
there's no major downtime or anything like that. And then after her first day, when she goes home, would she be able to see any difference today on the first time?
Probably not today. After really 24 hours, she'll see very little benefit after the first treatment, but after the second or the third, she will see some benefit.
Wow. Okay. So all your patients come in. You get them right in and out within an hour for VelaShape.
Yeah,
this is
40
crazy.
minutes. 40 minutes to do. Even if we had to do her inner thighs, we would be done.
Wow. Well, this is so awesome, and still no pain under there.
None at all.
I love it. And guys,
Feels good actually.
Oh, feels good. It's like a deep tissue massage going on while you're removing some cellulite.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Few. You know, guys, we've been here today and we've been talking about the body and setting goals for 2013. Coming up next, we're not leaving out the mind or soul. We are going to cover it all before we hit the new year. We'll be right back.
This portion of Weekends with Whitney is brought to you by John LeMay and Associates. This is the year to be on top of those changing tax laws. Call John LeMay and Associates. He can help you, as he's helped many of our viewers, dig out deductions, minimize risk, and maximize refunds. Chicago trusts John LeMay and Associates in Lincoln Park to help individuals and businesses survive and thrive. Check out their strong ratings on Yelp. Call John LeMay and Associates for a positive accounting experience.
Hello, welcome back to Weekends with Whitney. I'm your host, Whitney Reynolds, and we've been talking about ways to look good for the new year. But now we want to talk more about mind, body, and soul. We're joined by life coach Ellen Burton. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, because you do bring a lot of wisdom to the show whenever we talk about gearing up for a new year. And we've been talking all about the body, but let's talk more about the mind and soul. What are some suggestions you would say for people that are thinking about going into 2013?
Yeah, a couple things that need to happen. One is to take stock of what worked in 2012 and what didn't, and decide to bring what you're going to bring forward, and what you might want to say, you know what, that behavior, that belief set, that mindset, I think I'll leave that alone for this year because it didn't work for me. The second thing is to set some goals. I mean, you're a great example of setting goals. I've watched you for the last couple of years, Whitney, and I got to tell you, I'm pretty impressed with the way that you set your mind to things, write it down on paper, commit it to other people who will be behind you and love you and support you through it, not just to anybody, but to people who are behind you. And then I have seen you manifest great things.
Oh, that is so sweet, Ellen. You know, I'll touch on that at the end of the show, guys, but we have had some exciting news here with Weekends with Whitney. But going forward for people, like you said, what has worked this year?
Yes.
And then taking it forward the next. A lot of the time people are like, I'm going to change myself overnight as soon as that clock strikes midnight. I know some of you at home are thinking this right now, but as soon as that clock strikes midnight, I'm going to change and become a new person. And realistically, that doesn't happen. That's why the second week we get depressed and we fall off and we're like, what happened? Why didn't this work? When really we weren't evaluating what could really go forward with us.
Yes, it's important that the goals be realistic. There's no doubt about that. Things that are attainable. Most of the things that we want to do differently next year than last year, we have to have help with. So besides just making a list of wouldn't it be cool if, I like that. I like the idea of making it fun and putting some game around it as opposed to making it serious. Like at midnight, I'm going to stop smoking, that kind of thing, right?
Right.
Make a game out of it and then look around and go, what kind of supports do I need around this? And make a plan.
I love that. Now you work with people day in and day out that call and need either help with life direction. Now, do they put any kind of like time limit on it, or is it a process?
They put a crazy time limit on it. I'm glad you asked. Usually people think that something that needs to change should change within a very short period of time. And just because they set their mind to it, it's going to happen. And usually what happens is getting clear on what you want is part of it, putting some action behind what you want and what we like to call inspired action as opposed to the shoulds. Right? And then making it light and fun would be good, getting some support around it. So if you want to lose 15 pounds, getting another friend who wants to lose 15 pounds, but not so that you can just say, I lost 15 pounds, but so you can move easier in your body, so that you can feel strong when you're out and about doing things, so that you can participate in an active vacation versus a lay on a lounge chair vacation.
Right.
Those kind of things.
What's interesting about all this is as we're talking about goals, I feel a lot of people do put the body goals, and that's what we've been talking about all day today with VelaShape. And then I think for the mind, people do want to change different things about themselves, but I think we should also really look into the soul, things that make us happy. And I think so many times we're so regimented on what we want to change that we don't really focus on how to take care of ourselves, how to really say, you know what, this makes me happy and I'm going to do this maybe once a month. You know, whether it's, calling a family member you haven't talked to in a while or doing some kind of thing that you normally don't do.
Yes, it's hugely important. And what's really important is to not put it at the end, but at the beginning.
Love it.
So we need to find out the things that we do that make us feel good when we're finished doing them, like no matter what. So for me, an avid golfer, it's being on the golf course. Even if I golf a crappy game, it's still good to be out there. Zumba is another
I
one.
love
Don't
Zumba.
you love
Yeah.
Zumba?
It does make anyone happy.
Getting in the bed early with a book and a cup of tea, whatever it is for people, the things that make you feel good, we encourage you as coaches to do them more often and do them on the front side as opposed to the back side as a dessert or as a reward.
So mind, body, and soul, we've covered it all. Thank you so much, Ellen,
So
for coming on. And as she mentioned, guys, we have set goals every year for us here at Weekends with Whitney. And if you watched our holiday show, we announced that going into 2013, we will be the Whitney Reynolds Show. And we are going to be coming to you on more stations than ever. So make sure to go to thewhitneyreynoldshow.com for more info on where you can watch the new format, topic-based with a national spin. Have a great holiday season, guys.